it's me, Nick, head of Max MOCs, and today I am back with another awesome custom creation. And today we are going to be taking a look at my first ever Legoformer. Now this is Drift. Now Drift is not a character I've created myself. He is a character that was from the IDW Transformer comics. So here I have done a recreation of him in Lego. He's not 100% accurate, but I basically got him the best I can, and as you can see, this is him in his alternate mode, and he is a sort of rally racer. And I decided to make him a rally racer because, well, number one, that is also about what he was in the comics, and I thought it suited him well because he should be sort of this car with some muscle, but also very light and nimble looking, because he is, after all, supposed to be sort of the Transformer equivalent to a samurai. If you're not familiar with Transformers, they're basically a race of sentient robots from a distant planet that are fighting over their energy source, basically. There are good Autobots and evil Decepticons. And basically, they continue fighting, and as they continue fighting, they end up coming to Earth, and their battle gets involved with humans and stuff, and that's all I really feel like explaining in this episode. This Drift is an Autobot, so that he's one of the good guys. And basically, he originally used to be this Transformer that joined the Decepticons, who are the bad guys, But while he was like fighting on this group. Nope, he was like the baddest of the Decepticons in that group. But he crossed paths with this group of this ancient Cybertronian race of robots or Transformers that just didn't want to fight in the big war. And he became an Autobot there basically, and got sort of this somewhat samurai-istic look. Samurai-istic? Got a real word? Samurai-istic? Well, he got this samurai-like look, basically. And then I think when he eventually did get to Earth in the comics, he hung out in Japan for a while. So, just another quick look at his vehicle mode. Has 4 wheels, and I fairly am happy with how his vehicle mode came out. Number one, because I got him all to fit in a 5 stud long. Well, I guess if you really want to count the side view mirrors, it would be 6, but for the most part, just a 6 stud wide vehicle mode, because that's actually very difficult to do when you're making Legoformers, and it's even more amazing that I managed to accomplish that in the fact that this was my first Legoformer to transform into an everyday style vehicle, which can also be rather difficult in Lego styling and Legoformer techniques. So that's just something that I'm very happy I accomplished. On the side, these panels can flip outward, which is more just a transformation technique, but you can arguably call that a door or something, and you can look inside there. He does have some steering wheel and some chair design, and I'll get to that in a sec. Over here, basically, the underside, there isn't that much robot kill exposing, and that's one of the things I like about this. That's probably my second favorite thing, actually, is that a successful Transformers toy, I think this is what various Transformer reviewers have said, is that a Transformers toy, you should not be able to tell it transforms in vehicle mode. And Dodo, I think that I pulled that off fairly well. The only, biggest clue to that he does transform is that his head just sort of sticks out right on this back area. You know, I'm not especially fond of that, but from the side, it mostly just looks like antenna or something. Less than like a head that's folding up inside a bunch of car kibble. And one of my other favorite things about this car mode is that you can actually fit a minifig inside it. Being a Transformer, I thought it was only right that Drift should have some sort of armored vehicle mode. So I gave him this extra alternate mode with some where he has like these big energy weapons on the front and these I guess, and his super exhaust pipes on the side, which are basically just going to become his katanas he has in robot mode. Yes, he has katanas. These weapons are actually kind of out of place because Drift is more of a person of using sword and swordsmanship and stuff. His robot mode, and the reason I have these big weapons here on robot mode is actually because they're going to become part of his robot mode. And I really don't like that there's parts forming in the transformation, but it was only necessary for standing up. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, of his robot mode, I've covered basically everything about his vehicle mode, so let's get to transformation. Drift's transformation sequence is fun, but it can be a bit of a pain sometimes because of pieces having a tendency to get loose. Start off, first you're going to unpeg his arms down here. You are very carefully going to take apart this back section. Just wheel him like so. And now these side panels have deployed. Then those panels that I showed you earlier just get flipped right back. And then you fold this entire unit and the head backwards, like so. You carefully unpeg the windshield, bring down the legs, rotate them around, split the legs in half, and then insert your parts formation in pieces. Now we have Drift in his robot mode. This is Drift in his robot mode, and yes, he is my avatar. Now, as much as I hate to say this, I don't like Drift in his robot mode quite as much as I do in his alt mode. Well, by like I mean he's not as good in his robot mode as he is in his vehicle mode. But I still really love this guy in robot mode. He does still have some problems, though. For the most part, just that these legs have a tendency to be very flimsy. You'll notice right now it's even sort of bending slightly. And that's because he already, before I gave him that parts formation piece, he literally could not support his own weight. He kept falling over. So I had to give him that quick step just to keep him up straight and just so that he wouldn't fall over. And even with that, you still can't get very many poses out of his legs. I do still love a lot about him. For example, he does have these two katanas that I showed you. His alt mode is exhaust pipes. But yeah, these right here, these look, he looks amazing when he holds these. And his hands are basically just minifigure clips, and therefore they can hold anything that has like that bar area around it, just like a minifig can, which is a little bizarre that he would have small hands like that, but it works. It allows him to hold weapons, and I think that looks pretty dang cool. Like he could really be like slicing up some Decepticons or something. But with that, and with the issues and with the coolness, the issues he mainly has is just stability. These parts are flimsy, and these parts up here are flimsy. And because of that, you can't get very much posability out of it. Most of the posability is up here, above the waist, but you can pose this area below it, but it's not gonna work as well. Especially because he has these big wheels in the way. But I still do, with all that said, I do still love this guy. And I think we should move on to checking out the posability he has. Drift's head is on a T-joint connected to some battle droid arms, which means that he can look forward or down, and then up slightly, and then if I just hold him steady, he can look left and right. His head will break off, but otherwise his head's fairly posable. And despite only having 2 ball joints, both of which are in his leg area, he does have a fairly posable arms. He has a shoulder that can bend, an elbow bend, and I move up slightly, this side can move, this can bend, and then this can also bend in and out. If we lift up this windscreen slightly, you can see that he has a waist swivel. Both his thigh can move back and his knee can move back, but the thigh can't really move forward because of where the mixel ball joints are placed on him, which is unfortunate. This, just like the vehicle mode of Drift, this robot mode is also primarily based off Drift's robot mode and styling in the IDW comics. However, you'll probably notice that if you are a fan of the IDW comics and you'll notice that this isn't exactly what he looked like. If this were fully comic accurate, the windshield of the car would actually be up here, and this would be the front and this would be the back. Well, I flip-flopped it because I just thought it would be cool, or a little nicer to just do a conventional Transformer design styling. And also because, in my own way, I kind of prefer this design, and because him being a custom Transformer, I wanted to make him basically my own design, as he is a MOC and therefore my own creation. The pros of this figure are pretty obvious. It looks great, it has decent posability, and you can get some really nice poses out of him as long as I can keep him to stay up, and you get him on one place and keep him in that one position. Also, I think he looks cool with all his weapons, and he has a great vehicle mode that functions well, and does not appear to transform, as a good vehicle mode should on a Transformer toy. I also like how he can fit a minifigure and has some very slight interior design, and also I do appreciate these little streaks of paint on the front that are from a Japanese themed set, as Drift is Japanese. The cons are, well, that he has all this open space back here in the feet, and also that that in the vehicle mode I feel that things are slightly forced together. I also wish he had more posability in the legs and a better time standing up. This set does have its flaws, but being my first Legoformer, there's not much I can really do about it. But as I do continue to make more Legoformer sets, I probably will be able to improve them in ways and make them a bit better and a bit easier to film them on camera without having to worry about them falling apart every 15 seconds. However, in my opinion, this set does still look great in both robot and car mode, or this build at least does, I guess, because it's not really a set. And in some ways, I do even like it, and I think it's pretty fun to play around with. And I think that I pretty much covered everything about the set. So, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.